name is Betty Blanton, and I came here in 1979 as an assistant director of recreational sports. There was no rec center. We were in a little building off on the side over kind of by the football stadium, and we moved in 1980. I have been married for 40 years. I have 2 grown daughters, and just worked at tech for a long time. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of really good changes. The rec center was one of the best changes that we had because it gave lots of different students lots of different opportunities to be active, be physically active. When I came here, I was an intramural assistant director. There was nothing called fitness at that point. It didn't take us long to start having fitness classes. We're actually sitting in the original Fitness Wellness Center, and in 2000, 2001, when the addition was put on the building, we moved. I got the opportunity to design the Fitness Wellness Center. It's made lots of changes since then also, so we got to expand greatly. A lot of the programming, I would say the majority of the programming, was male-oriented. That was the main focus. Women played intramurals a little bit in women's leagues and some co-rec leagues, but they were not as excited to do it as they had been in high school. So the opportunity to develop a fitness wellness with group exercise, with personal training, our mind-body classes really expanded the opportunities that there are. The wall outdoor shop, that also expanded opportunities because we had some great professionals that wanted both men and women to succeed in these activities. I guess the history would be that I would say it was 1981 when we started having fitness classes. The room 114 upstairs, which is the main studio, was an archery golf room with a concrete floor and linoleum on top of it, and we kind of slowly took over that room as we added more and more classes. Now they've converted some of the other classes, but 116, we used that one, and then we kind of went into the lower level multi-purpose room as we offered a wider variety of classes. High-low aerobics was what was in the 1980s, if you remember leotards and tights and leggings, and we could cram 120 bodies in 114 to do high-low aerobics when we first got started. To be in fitness wellness right now as a woman, there are so many opportunities, and that's what's great. It's also great to be a man, and quite honestly, in fitness and wellness, men are probably in the minority more than women are. But the opportunities are endless if you look at all the different kind of classes, the different kind of activities that are happening. All of these activities make women so much stronger in whatever their job is and whatever their profession is in the workforce. And I think that's one of the biggest keys is whether you're climbing a mountain, whether you're skiing, whether you're holding a plank for 60 seconds, you take those physical attributes and take them into your life and tell yourself you can do things that you probably don't think you can do. Before I came here, and this was quite common in many universities, the women's physical education department ran women's intramurals, and the men's physical education department ran men's intramurals. And I'm not really sure there was a thing called co-rec intramurals at that time. I believe, and I could be off a couple of years on this, but I'm going to say in 1976 or 77, Texas Tech didn't really combine. They took intramurals away from the physical education departments and became campus recreation or UREC, whatever you want to call it. And the funding was totally different because when it was under physical education, it was under an academic. It was kind of a side gig for academics. Now it was part of student development, and again, it has changed lately because I can't tell you what year it was, but now it's under the financial office, not under student affairs. And when we moved to student affairs, then it became encompassing all of campus recreation in one area. The rec center, all of the programming, the aquatic center, the leisure pool that came along in a while. All of that was under one umbrella. I think the biggest challenge has been validity, that women can do these things, that they're able to do these things. I know that sounds kind of silly to you, but there was a long time when women weren't supposed to do activities, and luckily that is not the case anymore. But it's not the case, but there's still a lot of battles to be fought and to be. I'm not going to say they should be won. I think that things should be even more equalized than they are right now.
How have women been represented here at Texas Tech Recreation Center over the years?
Nationally, women at Texas Tech in our professional organization, which is called NIRSA, National Intramural Recreational Sports Association, I think Texas Tech has a very great reputation. If you were around a few weeks ago when we hosted TexFit, you could see that it was just an amazing thing. Our Fitness Wellness Center, this little baby right down here that started in 1991, was one of the very first Fitness Wellness Center. A spot had a place, was one of the very first ones. So I think we've been looked upon very well. We've had lots of professionals that have worked on committees on the national level to make things much better for women and for men, and just expanding fitness and wellness. Intramural sports has been kind of the glue that held recreational sports together for a while, but if you look around the rec center now, fitness, working out, open recreation, aquatics, the leisure pool, they're all a very important part of recreation. We can make sure that in a hiring process that through the university, which is very well protected, that women are always included in a search, especially for some positions that may not be typically women positions. We can support students as much as we can. That probably was one of my biggest loves, was working with students, men and women, to watch them grow, not just within the fitness wellness or within the campus recreation, but to see how that affected their lives and where they went from there, and how important they came back and said, my working for rec sports or my participation in rec sports was really, really important to me.
Is there anything else you can add?
No, I guess the one thing I would add is that I think that having opportunities like there are at Texas Tech is important for all college students, and I would just encourage students to explore. Maybe it's campus recreation, maybe it's res life, but to explore and grow and make themselves uncomfortable so that they learn how to do that, so that as they continue to grow, they'll continue to be able to get out of their comfort zone and learn how to do new things.